being able to leverage other people's experience can shorten that journey for you and can help you get to that next level a lot quicker and more efficiently than trying to figure it out by yourself. I came here when I was like, 6 or 7 years old. So some of the challenges or some of the insights when I'm very young, I wouldn't obviously see it. I've met a lot of young people, a lot of Black people, great ideas. But one thing I would say that stands out in terms of bringing those ideas to light is funding. You don't have to figure it out by yourself. Whether your idea is amazing, it's unique, there are people around who've done what you've done, and all you have to do is tap in. So my name's Tatenda Kasrai. I'm 23, Zimbabwe born and raised. I've been here for about 17 years, since 2008. Right now I'm currently an economics and finance student, so I'm heavy in the corporate side, but flip side, I'm quite creative as well. One thing about me, I can't stop talking. So hence why interviewing me today, I can't wait to share my thoughts, some of my insights as well. Yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I don't really like going into too much detail. I just love diving straight in. Okay, to be fair, I've always been in Middlesbrough. I came here, like I said, 2008. My experience in the Northeast, I'll probably say like, it's a quiet area, not really too much going on. You can kind of mind your business. It's a nice place to build. It's a nice place to kind of figure out what it is that you want as compared to like, the bigger cities where there's a lot more going on. But I would say that's my experience in the Northeast. I've lived here for quite a while and I've, gotten to know most of it. But yeah, I would say it's a place that has a lot of potential. So yeah, I would say main challenges, there's not really much of a community in my experience personally. I would say for more, because I'm quite a young person myself, so I would say for us young people, there's not, apart from like the students who go in and out during the academic year, I would feel like when I go to different cities like Manchester or London, I feel like there's more of a Black community and people are more like together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I would say that's been one of my biggest challenges, whereas I've gone to different places and I've seen that the community cohesion is a lot more than it is like in the North. I would say there could be. If I was to say one word, there could be. Like I said, there's a lot of potential here, and it's potential that's been very untapped. But since I've been here, I would say like the environment is quite sheltered. But now with more people coming into the Northeast, I would say people are starting to look at it as a place that has a lot of potential, and I'm starting to see people ready to, engage in that and make more of it. So it's different. So I came here when I was like, 6 or 7 years old. So some of the challenges or some of the insights when I'm very young, I wouldn't obviously see it, if that makes sense. I would say now, since maybe from like the age of 17 onwards, when I'm obviously more aware mentally, I would say I've met a lot of young people, a lot of Black people, great ideas. But one thing I would say that stands out in terms of bringing those ideas to light is funding. I would say funding is a big thing, whereas compared to, I always have to compare it to the major cities because it's relative. The funding up here, I've started to see more, events in the Northeast that are around things like funding small businesses. And if that can continue, I would say that will help bring some of those ideas into fruition, I would say. To be fair, I would say more collaborations, I would say so. Because I feel like even if we're, let's say, expanding it just from Middlesbrough to Newcastle, for instance, I feel like there's a lot of Black people around, different cultures, different business ideas, or some people even in the same industry. I would say like seeing more people collaborate than one person doing something here, one person doing something here. I think it would be more powerful if you see more creatives, more business people collaborate and getting together, sharing ideas. I feel like that will not only bring exposure to the Northeast and to the Middlesbrough area, but I think we would see, again, some of those ideas flourish even more. I think we're starting to see a bit more now. I can't say it's something which is completely dead, but if we were to see more of that, I think it would help us elevate to a different level. Okay, so the program that we're doing is more for young Black professionals / creatives. And it's going to be called the Black Print. One of the major things that got me to think about that program is, as a young person, I've got questions, right? As we all have. But one thing that I had to look for was the content that was around young Black professionals. I started to kind of hear the same thing, like people talking a lot more about, you know, the provisions or, you know, how to succeed as a young Black person, which is amazing. But what I didn't hear a lot of was the process, the journey to get there. And I think that sometimes hearing a story from someone who's at the start of their journey, who's maybe, let's say, 2 steps ahead of you, is way more impactful than hearing it from someone who's at the end goal, right? It's easier to relate to someone who's in your age group, who speaks like you, who has the same routine, whether they're in university, and they're doing amazing things as well. And a lot of the guests I'm going to be getting on that show are people who are around the age of between 22 to 28, for example, who are doing really well. They're on their way there during the process. And yeah, just asking them some of the questions that you don't really see out there. Questions that get real deep, raw, really into their journey, and just getting unique perspectives on how they were able to do it and how they were able to overcome some of those challenges. Like I would have told it to one of the guys before, but yeah, it's just getting to hear Black stories from a Black perspective. That was one of the big things that got me involved with this channel, was because when the narrative or the context is painted by someone from a different demographic, you don't get the full picture. Whereas if the person who's going through that experience gets to tell you the story, you get a lot more detail that you wouldn't necessarily get if someone else was telling that story. So just Black people telling their own stories. Me, I'm more on the corporate side because I study economics and finance in uni. So I would say there is support networks. I've been to quite a few events myself in the Northeast region. So University of Sunderland did an event last year that I went to. There was another event in Newcastle around people in the digital and business space. So I would say there's a lot of support networks, or even just upcoming entrepreneur SME startup funds that are out there as well. I'm starting to see a few more of them, but again, like I said, we'd benefit to having more of those things. That's a very good question. I would say leverage. For young people, I feel like that's something which is kind of lost. And one of the people I'm going to be bringing on is going to be talking about the power of leverage, where you don't have to figure it out by yourself. Whether your idea is amazing, it's unique, there are people around who've done what you've done, and all you have to do is tap in. The information is already there. There's nothing new under the sun. So being able to leverage other people's experience can shorten that journey for you and can help you get to that next level a lot quicker and more efficiently than trying to figure it out by yourself. Hello, my name's Satanda and I'm live on channel TBX. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. Thank you.